Let's try something new and different. Let's take somebody's video and, well, try and show other people their stupidity. Well, I do that on the regular, but let's take someone famous, for instance. Matt Walsh. Now, conservative Christian. Always on the right side of things. Fighting a good fight. I don't know, man. I think he would have made a great Yahtzee player. We'll have to take a look at that in just a little bit. I have a hard time stomaching that human beings can actually be like this. This the amount of comments that I've gotten from Americans towards Canadians is fucking repulsive. I don't know what makes somebody think that they're better because they were born on the right side of an invisible fucking line. I don't get it. Keep thinking it. I have a hard time comprehending how that works out good for you in the end, but hey, we're only your neighbors, and well, we're about to find out what. Well, I don't know. I don't think Matt Walsh speaks for all Americans. You know what I mean? Just like I don't speak for all Canadians. But I do know that this American, in my eyes, he's a whole lot of ugly inside. Now, he says a lot of good things. I'll give Matt Walsh that. He does make fun of the things that you should, but I don't think it's really to fix things. I think it's a superiority thing. Now, I don't know. I think Matt Walsh loves him some Matt Walsh, but let's find out who Matt Walsh is.
Not long after Justin Trudeau became the Prime Minister of Canada in 2015, he made a big announcement. Without any prompting, Trudeau said something that no other Canadian Prime Minister has ever said. He declared that Canada as a nation doesn't really exist. He came out and casually admitted something that Americans have known for a long time.
So he's trying to say that Americans know that Canada doesn't exist because they took something from Trudeau. But yet he has no respect for Trudeau at all. But this fucking video makes me sick to my fucking stomach. That you human beings out there that think you're so fucking good, you're so full of hate, and you want to be better than everybody else. Oh, you fucking people just love thinking you're better than somebody else.
That Canada is a fake country. Speaking to a reporter with the New York Times, Trudeau explained that, quote, there's no core identity, no mainstream in Canada. There are shared values. Those qualities are what make us the first post-national state, close quote. Yes, Canada is a post-national state with no core identity. That's what he's...
Well, I think we have an identity. We're labeled as Canadians. We don't really should have an identity. We should come together as human beings, Matt Walsh, but it's hard with all this superiority complex and hatred.
I mean, this guy was forced to resign this week. Of course, no one paid any attention to Trudeau's comments at the time because no one ever pays any attention to what's happening in Canada. Nobody stepped up to offer Canadians a nation that they could call home. Nobody said...
Do you? Well, I'm sorry. We are a nation of people and we do call Canada home. I don't know where this fucking brainwave comes from. He's taken some fucking words from Justin Trudeau and trying to fucking label Canadians or something. I don't know. It gets good though.
Canadians could indeed have a core identity just like the rest of the world. Instead, we allowed our neighbors to the north.
So Canadians are so less than. We have to catch up with the rest of the world.
Wallow in their own self-pity and apparent non-existence. Their identity crisis festered. As a result, after a decade of self-loathing, Canada is now predictably falling apart. Justin Trudeau.
No, my people are just fucking brainwashed, Matt Walsh. Just as you are, bud. Old Sainteen's got you by the fucking brain and he's got you good. But you're gonna run around telling everybody you're doing good until, hey, you need to ask yourself, Matt Walsh, who is Jesus to you? And what does he expect from you? Is this the kind of behavior? I don't know. These are questions for you to answer. I can't judge. It's you and God. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I think God just puts it out of his hands. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You go. You got a story to tell, and well, maybe you're your own judge because you have to face Jesus before you get to God. You have to find out what the fucking truth is of who you were.
Parliament has been suspended. Their whole government has basically collapsed. Canada is sputtering along.
Yeah, he is right there. Justin's just playing games so they can play, ring around the rosy there, and they can get people in positions that they want, and they can try and make a smooth transition because RCMP won't investigate or tell the Canadian people about the Chinese getting involved in our elections and stuff like that. And I don't know. If I'm thinking the Chinese are helping people, I'm thinking it's probably the Liberal Party. Like, I don't have any proof. It's just based on things that my prime minister has said. Like, he admires China the most. His dad was a big proponent of hanging out in China. You can go check that out for yourself. Justin Trudeau's brother has written books about China. You'd have to go check those out too. But our RCMP, like your FBI, useless as fuck, and we can't ever get any information because we're told we're stupid and that the intelligence is taking care of it.
Alive in the cold, like a stray cat that everyone ignores. But there's some good news now.
We're a stray cat that everybody ignores.
Finally, at long last, against all odds, they may soon have a nation to call their own. They may find that the core identity that they've apparently been seeking for.
We don't want the American core identity. I don't know if you know this, Matt, but the world does look poorly on Americans, I think. I might be wrong. They have this thing, and they shouldn't hold it against all Americans. But a lot of them tend to think that they're better than everybody else, and well, that just doesn't go over with everybody. You know what I mean? And when you start hearing that all the time, you're like, "Fuck you guys." You know what I mean? But Matt, I don't want the identity you guys got. You know what I mean? You guys got the identity of a president who has his daughter has a fucking diary. It's got bad news in it, bud. No one wants to fucking find out if it's real. Because if I was in your fucking seat there, Mr. Walsh, every fucking show I did, hey, CIA, FBI, hey, can we know if Ashley Biden's diary is fucking like for real? Because like this guy's running our fucking country. You know what I mean? And then, I'd start putting it on the people. You know what I mean? Like, hey, don't we deserve to know? Like, hey, but then again, let's keep going.
Admittedly, this development will come with some trade-offs, most likely. Canadians will probably lose the right to vote. They may have to start working jobs they don't like and that might not even pay them anything. And we still won't take them very seriously, but none of that's important right now because the key point is that Canadians could soon become Americans, or at least they could become.
Can you believe that? I can't even believe this has got to be a fucking joke. This has got to be some sort of, why would you say this about a country? This is all fucked up. Hey, Darky, keep thinking you're superior. Keep thinking it. Keep thinking it. You're the world's biggest manipulators. You don't even know it. There's proof, and you fucking people don't give a flying fuck. Weapons of mass destruction was a fucking lie, dude. A fucking huge lie that killed how many Iraqis and how many Americans? Huh? All for what? What does a human life mean there, Durkee? The problem is, you're so fucking desensitized. You don't fucking care. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't hard to figure out that, fuck, the people who brought you the fucking weapons of mass destruction never had to pay. Not even a slap on the wrist. Promotions. Victoria Newland. Go check her out.
Vassals of Americans. Here's Donald Trump's olive branch to the oppressed people of Canada from yesterday's press conference. This is, of course, getting a lot of attention. In case you missed it, here it is.
We were working under the assumption that you're serious about making Canada the 51st state of the United States. The leader of the Conservative Party in Canada said, under no circumstance will it ever be the 51st state.
Maybe he won't win, but maybe he will. I don't care.
You had suggested.
Listen, I don't care what he says.
Sir Lopez, you're considering military force to acquire Panama and Greenland. Are you also considering military force to annex and acquire Canada?
No, economic force. Because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada.
I don't believe that. I don't think anybody's protecting us. Because if anybody was protecting us, the terrorists wouldn't be coming into our fucking country the way that they are. You know what I mean? Nobody's protecting us. And well, it is an imaginary line. But apparently it does mean if you're born on one side of it, it makes you so much better. Sorry guys, you aren't better. We're kind of the same. You know what I mean? But you guys can't understand that because you have to feel superior. I don't know. I don't need to feel superior to anybody. You know what I mean? I just want to act better. I just want to fucking. I don't fuck. You guys live in a fucking twisted fucking world. And this is why.
Trump went on to explain all the obvious arguments in support of annexing Canada. We provide them military support worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
What military support do you fucking give us? Really, I'd like to know because I really don't understand it. But hey, when the Emergencies Act was called on your Canadian neighbors, and well, if you're fighting for democracy like America always says, well, you think you would have came and helped your brothers who were, well, being taken care of by a tyrant. But then again, we can't even take care of that tyrant when it goes to court and it turns out he was a tyrant and used an Emergencies Act on people. But hey, here's the deal. There are some information that, well, your government was working with the Canadian government to make sure that, well,
us with an import tax on dairy products that goes as high as 270%. They're supposedly good at hockey, but they haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1993. They also don't believe in free speech to the point.
All right. See, he even gets more into the hockey later. What he wants to do is just drive it right into Canada. Hey, you guys are proud of your hockey. You guys can't even win a Stanley Cup. But what Brainwaves here doesn't fucking kind of understand that well. The organization as the NHL, it drafts players from all over the place. When Florida wins the cup, Florida's not really winning the cup. You know what I mean? It's a collaboration of players, and I wonder how many Canadian players would be on that team. But hey, I don't know. Anyways, you know what I mean? Like Canada did dominate hockey for a long time, and you guys being so much better than us, you think you would have taken full control of it by now, but I don't know. But the Stanley Cup, yeah, you guys have had control of it in your hands, but it's not really a battle of Canada versus the U.S. You know what I mean?
Freeze the bank accounts of political dissidents. And if we were talking about a Middle Eastern country,
yeah, you think that's something you would have stood up for? Hey, Canada. Democratic countries don't take away their citizens' fucking bank accounts. Hey, this is a whole lot of twisted and wrong. Only because you fucking gave $20 to some truckers? Holy smokes, will they destroy your life? No. But then again, Canada should have been smart enough to stand up for its own. But
would have already invaded by now, or at least launched some rockets and called it a day. But as you heard, Trump doesn't plan on doing any of that with Canada. The plan right now is a humanitarian economic takeover.
Oh, a humanitarian economic takeover. So you of the United States will just take us over. Not a hey, let's become one or anything like that. Matt Walsh wants to make sure it's a takeover. So we know that we were controlled. Well, Matt Walsh, we refuse to take your fucking thoughts on as Americans. No fucking way. Bill Gates is getting away with way too much shit. You know what I mean? But then again, Canada over here, it ain't fucking taking care of any of its fucking pedophiles neither. But it's a whole lot of twisted, but let's keep going, Matt.
That's why after the press conference, Trump posted these upbeat images of a unified North America with Canada and the United States combined. And as you can see, once you get rid of the line between Canada and the United States, the whole continent does look a lot cleaner. You know, it just fits it.
So we're such a dirty country that once we become the United States, oh, it'll be so beautiful then, right? Like, fuck off, Matt Walsh. Holy smokes.
Obviously, the way it was supposed to be. But pretty much every Canadian politician disagrees, apparently. And in voicing their outrage, they've only made the whole situation even more entertaining and more pathetic for Canada. Here, for example, is someone using the name Jagmeet Singh. At one point, he was supposed to be the kind of the Canadian incarnation of Barack Obama. And last night, he uploaded this video.
And just so you guys are aware, Jagmeet Singh's we want to give everything to everybody free. You know what I mean? he's that guy. He's the guy that's kept Trudeau in office, actually. Held Canadians hostage. He could have, a long time ago, called an election, but did not. Played the game, and, well, you got to wonder if he's a WEF puppet. But
threatening the United States. Watch.
Donald Trump is acting more like an internet troll than a president of the United States. I don't think that's the way you act as a president, and it's certainly not the way you interact with other countries. But as I mentioned, I've dealt with bullies throughout my life, and I know what it's like. Even if you're the smaller guy, even if you're outnumbered, you got to make it not worth the bully's while. Bullies only understand strength. They only understand strength and pain. So you have to make sure you're standing up and showing that if you want to take that decision to fight with us, to pick a fight with us, it's going to hurt you too. And so I want to issue a challenge actually on your show today. For anyone that's running for prime minister, I've committed that Canada would respond with retaliatory tariffs. If Trump imposes tariffs on Canada, we should respond with tariffs.
see, what a loser, eh? Tariffs. Well, battle them back. Like, the fucking leadership in Canada is a fucking joke. It's just like Trump says. And I agree with him. There's nothing we need from Canada. We don't need their dairy. We don't need their lumber. He's right. Just like we don't need any American shit. We should work together. We should come up with fucking ways to have a better world, but nope. Canada could survive all on its own. We could maybe we could clean up our well, you guys could take all your fucking ding dong fucking franchises and we could start having fucking family owned businesses again. But then again, fuck, you know what I mean? That'd take a revolution. She's coming, boys and girls. Turkey, hold on fucking tight, bud, because I ain't ever giving up. Fucking die for this.
So that was the sentiment all over Canada. Even the Conservatives were talking like this, although they were a bit less aggressive. It's all, kind of difficult to understand, frankly. They're just
He's a little smug and pompous, wouldn't you say? A little bit.
That being conquered is automatically a bad thing. I mean,
being conquered. So Matt Walsh can feel superior. Like this has got to be a fucking joke. This is Yahtzee playing. You know what I mean? We'll just take over and we'll make it better. We can do it better than they can. Don't want it.
They're complaining about our plans to conquer them, and they haven't even seen the labor camps we've built for them. I mean, they're really spacious, very comfortable by labor camp standards. You'll even get one whole meal a day, except on weekdays, obviously. And yet they still whine. I mean, just ungrateful brats. And just to underscore the power dynamic here, Canada's dollar is worth about 70 cents right now. The government is issuing emergency payments to around a third of the population so people can afford groceries.
Yeah, so those are people you should fucking be just laying the boots to, eh? The people that their dollar is less than your dollar, so that makes you fucking better than those people too. And you know what I mean? What happens, Matt Walsh, when people rise and you're stuck in your fucking gross little hatred or whatever the fuck this is? I don't know. Is this a joke? Is this satire? I can't even, like, who jokes about concentration camps and taking over countries and holy fuck.
Jagmeet Singh wants us to believe that Canada has leverage over the United States. They're going to raise the import tax on milk another 100%, I guess.
Well,
They're going to shut off our supply of maple syrup. They'll play hockey even worse than they already do. Now, not to be outdone.
You see that? Like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, what did a Canadian ever do to him? Matt Walsh, what is hurting you inside, bud? To hate a whole fucking country of people. It's really disturbing, especially when it's coming out of the lips of a supposed Christian or whatever it is you got going on in your fucking head you're telling yourself, bud. Because I don't think these kind of thoughts, I don't think they get you to the go station, but I don't know.
Less popular politician in Canada, Elizabeth May of the Green Party, proposed a counteroffer to Donald Trump. She suggested that Canada should, rather than us taking Canada, that they will take California, Washington, and Oregon from the United States, which apparently is supposed to be some kind of threat. She's threatening to take our three worst states from us. Can we throw New Jersey in there too? It doesn't really work geographically, but if you want to take all the worst ones, we'll give you that plus New.
So I don't know. I don't know what to say. Hey, people of New Jersey, you want to become like this is like I am just like, am I fucking hearing this wrong? Like this is supposed to be funny, right? Like I don't fucking I'm having a hard time with it. I really am struggling. Can you guys let me know? Hey Tyrone, who are you? That's a nice brand new YouTube station you got there, buddy. Nice brand new one.
Here she is.
Hey, Donald, have we got a deal for you? You think we want to be the 51st state? Nah, but maybe California would like to be the 11th province. How about it? California? Oregon? Washington?
This cuckoo bird does not represent Canadians.
You've got geography in common with us. And not only that, we've already got a carbon trading system between California and Quebec. We've got some strong alliances on our west coast from British Columbia. There's been a lot of academic papers on the idea of Cascadia. So California, Governor Newsom, and Washington State, Jay Inslee, and newly elected Governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek. How about it? Want to put a referendum to your citizens? Because this is what you deal. Have we got a deal for you? This is what you get. Free health care. You
guys don't want the health care. You don't, especially if it's for the mental health. You don't want it. It'll punish you if you want the truth. It'll beat the living fuck right out of you. Causes trauma. You know what I mean? Watch yourself in Canada with the medical treatment that you're getting. Or mental treatment, at least.
free health care. No more 1-year-olds who suddenly fall off the Medicaid list and their parents are in the news because they're trying to do a GoFundMe so they can get their daughter to a doctor. Universal, free healthcare. And guess what? Those gun laws that your Congress is too afraid to pass because of the national gun lobby, we already got ours.
She's saying we got control of our fucking people. We've taken their rights of guns away because, well, it's not like if Congress. Do you think the people in America are going to stand up and let their guns be taken away? I don't think it's Congress. They've been trying. You know what I mean? It's the people saying no, but they'll stand up for their fucking guns, but for their children. Hey, no, you continue on your way, Bill Gates. Whatever you want to do, massa. I protect you, even though I know who you are.
Awesome.
So the pitch to people in California, Washington, and Oregon is that if they join Canada, they can get some Canadian health care. Now, I've ragged on those states quite a bit over the years. They're all terribly run. They're overtaxed. They're examples of the worst excesses of left-wing ideology. But even with all that in mind, I've never wished Canadian health care on anyone living in those states. I never would. I don't want to see them put to death when they get a headache or feel a little depressed. But apparently Elizabeth May.
Wow. I don't know. There's goods and bads with everything, Matt. You know what I mean? They're not going to turn a child away for health care over here in Canada. Will they do it in the States? I don't know, bud. I'm not condoning what she's saying, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Would you take health care if it depended on the survival of your child? But then again, the waiting game in Canada, you know what I mean?
These things differently. And she seems serious about the offer. And admittedly, a lot of people in those states may be on board with the idea. So let's compromise. How about this? Here's my counter offer. We'll send you the people in all those states, but we're going to keep the land. Because actually the land is quite nice and quite beautiful. But so we'll give you the people, we're going to keep the land. It seems like...
So he doesn't care about the people in those states because rather than try and bring them the truth, they'll just keep calling them stupid, you know what I mean? He would give all those people to Canada just to keep the land. But I don't know. I don't get this. This is so fucking...
That's a win-win.
What world am I in?
Being a husband, father, and host of my own show means life. A raging alcoholic, apparently, who's also completely incompetent. Most famous in Canada for getting so intoxicated during a speech a few years ago that her own staff had to lead her off stage as she started playing music from her phone during the speech and praising war criminals.
Yeah, and this person is still a leader in Canada, so just fucking, like, he brings a lot of good points to light, you know.
We'll just play this because this is funny. Here it is.
I have a completely deranged and there is no sequitur. This is a non sequitur. Do you guys ever wake up with old theme songs from former black and white TV shows that you never thought your kids would ever see and they're running through your head? Like every now and then I wake up thinking about, Lisa, you've got to wait. Lisa, I wake up thinking about a horse is a horse, of course, of course. This morning I wake up thinking this. Why am I thinking this? Do you guys wonder? Hang on.
We wonder why you're thinking that too, but
Wait, you know what? Do you guys remember the theme song? Welcome back. Who knew Cotter was spelled K-H-A-D-R? Welcome back, Omer Cotter. It matters to say it. Welcome back, Omer Cotter. You're home.
there's a lot unusual about your speech, Liz, but we're going to take off.
Omer Cotter, you've got more class than the whole cabinet. Thank you.
That's a whole lot of weird shit, eh? Bizarre. Maybe Canada deserves to be made fun of. But this fucktard wants to control us. I don't know, like...
Every time I think that our government is an embarrassment, that's the one nice thing about Canada is that...
Oh, so a bad speech. Dude, please produce the proof that Barack Obama is a fucking American citizen, please do that, Matt Walsh. Please provide the paperwork proving that Barack Obama is an American citizen. Now, to me, if he wasn't, that'd be more embarrassing than a drunken speech because, well, we could pull up a few Pelosi fucking clippers and, well, we would know that she's pretty drunk too. You know what I mean? This is all sorts of fucked up. I don't like. You want Canada to feel and be an embarrassment, but you should be embarrassed right along with us. You're a pedophile protector, Matt Walsh. You have a huge platform. And if you know shit's going on, you should repeat it every day. You know, do a little prayer. You know what I mean? Say, hey, American citizens, is it really worth it to protect the youth of today? Let's find out what's going on with those 300,000 children that came across the border that can no longer be found. You know, like every fucking day. You know what I mean? Every day. Or stand up to the cartels. Be a man and say, hey, cartels. The FBI, CIA, and Pentagon might not want to do something about you, but I'm going to warn about you every fucking time. And I have such a belief in God. You don't ever want to touch a hair on my fucking head. Because that's only bad news for you. You know what I mean? But that's when you really have God. You're like, fuck this place. I don't give a shit. I'll do what's right over fucking being stupid.
And there are times when I look at the people running our country and I feel totally humiliated. But you can always just look over to Canada and say, well, okay, well, I mean, they're at least worse than us. Now, the person she mentioned at the end of her speech is a terrorist who pleaded guilty to murdering a U.S. soldier. And that woman went on to lead the Canadian Green Party. So that's the caliber of Canadian politicians that we're dealing with here. Oh, wait.
And he's telling the truth, like I said. We do have a bad situation in Canada, and the leadership sucks. Like everybody thinks Pierre Poilievre is going to be our hero, but if he was going to be our hero, he would have already done it. He'd be on the CBC every day saying this about Justin. We RCMP, we want the fucking information. No more redacted shit. You're as crooked as fucking shit. We want the information. We want we want all the charity information. We want all the fucking vacation. And we want to know if Justin's been making money through this whole fucking thing, because it doesn't seem right that your leader makes money and you fucking suffer. You fucking suffer. You know what I mean?
Get them drunk.
They don't care about us.
Wait a few minutes until they get drunk on their own, and then we can do whatever we want in these negotiations. For what it's worth, Elizabeth May wasn't the only Canadian politician to come up with a counteroffer. Ontario's Governor Doug Ford is also in the bargaining stage of grief. Watch.
Trump once again talked about the idea of now a merger between Canada and the United States. You would dismiss that as a joke.
Little background as a joke on this. This is Canada today. Canada still agrees that his brother was one of the greatest mayors that the city of Toronto ever had. Now, he's on video all over on crack and this and that. Even my wife has said he did a lot of amazing things for the city. I'm like, yeah, can you imagine all the amazing things he probably did for himself or against the city? Like, can you really trust somebody that's all whacked out on crack to not make bad decisions? Like, I don't get this. And like, this is his brother anyways.
What point do you say that that's no longer a laughing matter and something that should be taken with quite a bit of seriousness?
Well, I know under my watch for Ontario, I'd never be for that at all. We have the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest province anywhere. Any sub-sovereign nation is Ontario and the rest of the provinces as well.
You think he's joking?
You know something? To the president, I'll make him a counteroffer. How about if we buy Alaska and we'll throw in Minnesota and Minneapolis at the same time? So, you know, it's not.
Like, why do we talk like that? I do not want Minnesota. I want AD to remain a proud American. And quite frankly, Nothing personal, but I don't want Tim Walsh in my country either. No way. No way. We already got troubles with fucking people being confused about men and women. We don't need Tim Walsh fucking running around here too, being some sort of fucking government official here. He can probably make fucking prime minister for crying out loud.
I know he likes making these comments and he likes joking around. I take that seriously. He may be joking, but under my watch, that will never ever happen.
I mean, if you want to try to buy them, make an offer. I think we're always, I mean, you should always be open to offers. So I wouldn't want to part with Alaska because it's the most beautiful state in the country. And a lot of good people in Alaska. If you wanted Minnesota.
So there's a lot of good people in Alaska. And it's a beautiful state. Where in the fuck is it closer to? My fucking brain hurts. Again, an imaginary line. You're a beautiful people if you're on one side, but this seems like, hey Matt, guess what? The Nazis didn't realize they were Nazis neither. This is all sorts of weird.
At least personally, I'm not in charge of anything, but I'm like, let's talk about it. Put a number on the table. Let's have the conversation. But you can't afford it. You can't afford Minnesota. Canada's so pathetic; they can't even afford Minnesota. And there seems to be a fundamental misunderstanding here. No one is offering to buy Canada. Trump is proposing that we just take it. But Doug Ford seems to think that we're haggling over prices here, and he also seems to think Canada can afford to buy a U.S. state, which is more than a little something.
Don't pray for me, Durkee, because I can't pray for you, bud. You can only pray for yourself. And that's when you're fucking in touch and tune with God. Don't let somebody else tell you they're going to pray for you. Because you might miss the connection there, bud.
Now, at the same time, as amusing as the idea of taking over Canada is, the plan that Trump is floating for other parts of the North American continent is, I think, a bit more serious, with some very real economic and strategic implications. The main benefit of conquering Canada is just that it would be really funny. It would be the first conquest in history launched primarily as a joke. Because, in all seriousness, I actually wouldn't want Canada, mainly because of all the Canadians that are there. If we could get...
Hi, Matt. I'm a Canadian, bud. And, well, I think I'm a chosen one from God. And can you imagine taking your hatred out on all of the people? And within those people are God's people that you claim to be so righteous, but yet so filled with so much hatred, matching.
Without the people that could get, I wouldn't, I mean, there's some things we you only go so far. We don't want the land that badly. But the idea that we should buy Greenland and take over the Panama Canal is, while also being kind of funny, still very serious. At one point during the press conference, Trump was asked to rule out the use of military force to take Greenland and the Panama Canal, and he refused. Watch.
Greenland and Panama Canal, so forth. Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us a little bit about what your plan is? Are you going to negotiate a new treaty? Are you going to ask the Canadians to hold a vote? What is the strategy?
Yeah, I can't assure you, you're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this, we need them for economic security. The Panama...
Did you hear that? We as Americans, we as Americans, we need that for money. Economic growth. For money. We will invade for money. Economic growth. To make America prosper. Do you think God wants to give leaders the right to fucking do that? But then again, Greenland does have a Space Force thing there, doesn't it? You should look into that. Like the Space Force is real. We know that, right? Why did Donald Trump start that fucking Space Force? Weird. Is it to stop the Galactic Federation? Or is it to help? Or what is it? Like, what made him want to have Space Force? And I'm telling you, I don't know. I've always said I have a message for Donald Trump. Maybe it's a good one. Maybe it's a bad one. Who knows? Who knows? But this doesn't sound good, does it? We'll take Greenland because it'll pay us money. Sounds like a fucking bit of a tyrant there. You know what I mean? Just saying. I don't know everything, so I might not have all the information. But to me, that doesn't sound good.
I was built for our military. Jerry, I'm not going to commit to that.
Now, this answer caused a lot of wailing on the internet, as you would expect, but it's the right answer. There's no reason for us to rule out anything at this point, especially when our national security is implicated. It also puts you in a much stronger bargaining position if you don't show your cards ahead of time. If we take over Greenland, we gain an ideal position for shooting down missiles from countries like China, Russia, and North Korea. We'd also gain access to rare earth minerals that are...
So you can just take over a place because it benefits you, Matt? Ooh. Sounds like you are part of what you complain about.
For various military technologies and batteries and so on. Greenland is a massive piece of land on our continent that has basically nobody living on it. I mean, the actual population is about 56,000, which, to put that into perspective, is significantly less than the average capacity of a professional football stadium. Those are all the people living in Greenland.
Yeah, and it's their land, not fucking yours. Not yours.
So why shouldn't we at least discuss the possibility of acquiring it? And of course, the Panama Canal would give us control over one of the most important shipping lanes in the world.
Well, I could see negotiating to make it beneficial for everybody involved, but I don't know. Matt's talking about conquering, and I mean, I've heard Donald say that he could make the world a better place if they had access to Greenland. And like I said, I don't know all the information. I just like to take the pieces and try and put them together the best that I can, and well, just keep asking questions until you find out what your answer is.
Opportunities to limit China's advancement in our hemisphere as well. You know, whenever you think about these ideas, they make a lot more sense than fighting proxy wars in Eastern Europe or the Middle East. The Panama Canal and Greenland are on our continent. They're in our backyard. What happens there affects us a lot more than a border dispute 6,000
What happens on our borders, as long as we're going to control and have what's there, then we should be concerned. But when it comes to Canada and us being the protectors of democracy, and when we see that falling, we'll just stay quiet and not at least try and inspire the Canadians to say, hey guys, are you going to keep allowing this? But then again, when you go against it, you get punished around here. You know what I mean? A lot of people spend a lot of time in jail for, just asking for the truth. Trucker convoy started because all they did was ask our prime minister for a conversation. And well, when you want to be a tyrant, there's no need for conversations. Anyways, I thought this video would go better, but I don't know. I might do another one later. I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed. Like, why do you guys think so less of Canadians? I don't. I fear for you people who say that you're God loving people, yet you can put down based on a fucking geographical area. Fucking, it's amazing. It is amazing. Yeah. Talking about Trump said this would be the last election. I don't know. I got a lot of questions. I don't understand. Elon Musk, he kind of, the Elijah Blue thing. His dad's into weird shit. How does someone like Elon that's doing all this shit have time to play Diablo as much as he do and be the best player? And why does he want to chip in people's brains? Why does he want to have, well, X is already going that way, right? Or it's already telling you, base your score on your social fucking, anyways. He wants that app to be like the one in China. It's amazing. I don't know. I don't see why we can't just all come together and find out what the fucking truth is. You know what I mean? They tell us they're gonna do this. Hey, maybe we should come together. Maybe Dick Durbin's the way. Who knows? Maybe Donald Trump's on the list. Who knows? Like, fuck. But then again, who knows? Fuck. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I'm gonna go. Everybody have a good day, and I'll catch you later.